Good to be with everybody tonight. As mentioned, my name is Jared Golding. I'm the Employee Relations Associate Director in the Office of Career Services and Employee Relations here at Rose-Hulman. I've actually been at Rose-Hulman since 2005, and the first majority of my career was in admissions and enrollment management. So I've been all around the world, in fact, talking to students about coming to Rose-Hulman. So this is kind of going back home a little bit with the early part of my career. But eventually, the point came where my own kids came to Rose-Hulman. My son graduated in 2023 in mechanical engineering. He's now a systems engineer for Collins Aerospace in Dallas, Texas. And my daughter is a current junior, and she's double majoring in chemical engineering and molecular biology and biochemistry. I never see her. She's busy enough to where, even living here in town, she's almost gone across the country, it seems like, to go to school. But it's been great to see Rose-Hulman from their perspective and to see how the process that we have in our office of career services and employer relations works for each and every student. The focus that we have is really twofold. First off, we have to be focused on students. And as a philosophy, we try to do it differently than most career services offices out there. Because the measurement that really kind of gets the attention is the placement rate of seniors, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. Most institutions will choose to put most of their emphasis and attention on those fourth year students. And what we are actually trying to do is to put as much of the attention as we can onto the first year students. And so some of the things that we do in order to accomplish that include we will review every first year student's resume before they come to campus. So if you're one of the seniors that's here tonight and you end up coming to Rose-Hulman sometime over the summer, you would get a message from your career advisor for your major saying, send me what you have currently as a resume. Here's some things that maybe you've never put one together yet as far as a professional reference document. Here's some things to get you started with that. You can submit that and we will actually go over it, give you some pointers, some potential tweaks before you even arrive on campus. And so the interaction that we have begins very early. We emphasize the opportunity to create a profile on a platform called Handshake. Handshake is the system that we use, and a lot of universities, it's about 2/3 of the universities in the country, will utilize Handshake to connect companies with their students. And so this is where you're able to create a profile in the same vein as like LinkedIn, only it's a student-focused platform rather than a general platform. We'll still have you doing LinkedIn also. But here's an opportunity for you to be able to begin to interact with this system as early as the summer before you arrive. We have a member of our office who's specifically devoted to working with first year students and making some of those first steps to learn about how to create a 30-second elevator pitch, to learn about how to navigate a career fair, to learn about how to ask questions and maybe discover what are the career paths that are of most interest to you. So to have someone that's devoted on first year students has been a real benefit to us. And we're able to look through the Handshake system at analytics that tell us how are our students engaging compared to some of our peer institutions. Now, I'm not allowed to tell you which institutions they are, but they are peer institutions likely you're interested in as well. And what we have is an over 85% engagement by our first year students, whereas the overall engagement with all of these peer institutions, it's down at 22%. So that's going to an event, that's stopping by the office, that's talking to an advisor, that's attending the career fair, that's going to an info session or company visit. Any way that you could engage during the academic year, we want our freshman students to be doing that from the very beginning. In fact, the event that kind of kicks off our academic year is an event that we call Welcome Back Wednesday. Our classes start on a Thursday, so this is held the night before. No one has homework yet. No one's been in class. Everyone's, it's late summer, early fall, so everyone's in shorts and t-shirts and flip-flops. And yet we have a big event where we have all of the student activities that are there showing off what is available that coming academic year to get involved and get engaged in some fun and development uh, outside of the classroom with extracurriculars. But then we have 20 employer booths where we tell these employers, you're going to be there the day before classes start, and we want this to be a fun and an engaging event where we want you doing things that you can't do at a career fair. Career fair is pretty formal. Everyone's dressed up in formal business attire, business suits and such. Uh, we still want you in the shorts and t-shirts and flip-flops, but we want you walking around with that resume that we've helped you develop over the summer, to where now you can go around to these 20 companies and start having some conversations that will help you understand what it is that they're going to ask. What do they want to know about? What do they want to hear about in terms of your interest and passion areas? How do you tell that story best? And it's much more low key and relaxed, so that you're much more prepared later on. Maybe 5 weeks later tends to be the time frame when we hold the fall career fair. The fall career fair is the largest event that we have. We'll have over 280 companies. We're approaching 300 companies attending that event. And so because of that, we don't want that to be your first experience having these conversations. And so that fun and engaging environment at Welcome Back Wednesday, that includes Milwaukee Tool having a converted air plunger that's now shooting at targets in our lake to win a prize. That's having a climbing wall. It's having a mobile lab from Eli Lilly. That's having a micro forge from Steel Dynamics. Being able to really engage with what it is these companies do and have meaningful conversations. And yeah, we're catering it with an outside food vendor. We're including a lot of fun games and interaction and music. And it's a kickoff event for the academic year, but it's also, how can I get ready for meaningful conversations starting tonight and moving through the rest of this academic year and the academic years to come? And so that's kind of the first focus of our office, is to really get first year students engaged in what it is we offer. The overall events for all students, of course, we want anyone to be coming to what it is that we're putting on. We try to have fun events in our office, but then we have major campus events. I've mentioned the fall career fair. There's actually 2 more career fairs every year. We have 3 academic quarters, and so we have a career fair each quarter. This next year, we're actually adding a virtual fair on top of that, where we're reaching out to companies who haven't recruited at Rose-Hulman yet, saying, give our students a chance. You talk to them, you're going to find that you want to talk to them more, and you want to come and be in person to be able to interact with them. That's been consistent with every company that we've reached out to along those lines. And so we're trying to create a venue to where we can add more access to the types of folks that you would like to potentially be working for. We also have a graduate school fair every year. So those of you that are thinking about graduate school, that's what my daughter's thinking about doing, is to getting a PhD right out after Rose-Hulman. And so in the fall of every year, we have graduate programs where they are representing normally PhD programs, to where you can come and learn about the opportunities that are associated with research and developing opportunities academically, and being able to move into that level of expertise, whether you want to become a professor, stay in academics, continue in research, or move into industry at that level as a chief scientist. So we try to make sure that all of the avenues that you're thinking about, we're able to be supporting in. The other events are going to be focused on individual companies. They're going to be focused on individual topics. We just held our junior jumpstart over the weekend. So on Sunday, we had a etiquette dinner where students could come, and we taught them that old work from the outside in, as far as the silverware to formal place setting. The food was provided and they're getting a great meal, but they're also learning how is it that they're able to utilize this experience to further conversation that can lead to a potential offer of employment or internship or graduate school. So all of these events are meant to develop your comfort level, but also your competence in being able to engage with people that are here to recruit. The opportunities, we've worked very hard to make sure that you have access. My primary role is to interact with those employers that you likely want to work for. And so to be able to have a network of connections, but also be able to reach out and continue to develop new ones. Every year we have about a 10% at least increase in the number of companies that are engaging with Rose. We have over 9,000 companies that have connected with us in the Handshake platform. And so you're able to search and connect and know that these companies have specifically sought out us because they want to be able to post jobs and opportunities for our students and alumni. The support that we offer doesn't end when you graduate. I just came from a meeting just before I walked into this room where I was meeting with a graduate that is looking to move to a new area of the country and wants to make sure that the professional story that they're telling is done in a proper way on the resume. And so my responsibility for advising folks is not advising current students. I work with our alumni, and I say that it's from graduation to grave. So any point after you graduate, we are there to develop the network, to develop the story, to make sure that we connect you with opportunities and assist you in making proper connections that can lead to that next step in your career. The employer relations side also includes the opportunity to see new companies or new opportunities come in that are driven by students. I've had students come to me. I had a member of our golf team come to me saying, I want to work for a golf company. This is where my passion is. I'm passionate about engineering. I'm passionate about golf. And so I looked at what we had to that point developed with golf companies. And there wasn't anything. So the next thing you know, I'm reaching out to TaylorMade and Callaway and Ping and Cobra and all the different golf companies to be able to start to create awareness on their part of what it is that our students are doing and the fact that there are shared passions amongst our student body where golf and engineering can be exactly what these companies would be looking for. In fact, the director of engineering at Ping, her name is Rose. I definitely had to connect there. And we've had now students interning at TaylorMade and Callaway and at Ping. And so that development came because a student was willing to say, this is where I want to go. How can you help me get there? We believe as an office that our focus is to be part of that fulfillment of the second half of the Rose-Hulman mission statement. The first half says that we're going to provide the world's best engineering undergraduate experience in engineering, science, and mathematics, right? Second half is in an environment of individual attention and support. And so if there is something that you are interested in, we will hear you and develop it for you. It's still going to take work on your part. We're not a placement office. I'm not going to hear from you or that student on our golf team and say, oh, Rose at Ping, here's a student that needs to work for you. Hire him. That's not how it works. We will develop the awareness. We'll develop the engagement opportunities. We'll build up, again, your confidence and competence in having these interactions, and then get the prepared students and engaged employers together to have those conversations that lead somewhere. Rose-Hulman, with it being an environment of individual attention and support, means that we have a mandate to understand what's happening with our students as they graduate. Now, every university that you're looking at likely throws a percentage at you, likely a 2-digit percentage that starts with the number 9. That 90 plus somewhere is their placement percentage. We don't start with that percentage. The percentage that is important to us is the knowledge rate that we have of our graduating class. Our knowledge rate, meaning do we know what is happening with every student? Our knowledge rate is 100%. There is not a senior that we don't see fall through the cracks. There isn't a crack to fall through at Rose-Hulman. In fact, in January, every year, I get a list from our career advisors, the advisors that are working with the different majors on our campus, get a list from them of the students who haven't responded to anything they've sent during that year to that point. And I look up class schedules, I look up residence hall rooms, and I start showing up outside of those doorways. Not to scare anybody, not to I'm 6'7", so I guess I can be imposing, but I'm not there to be imposing. I'm just there to close that knowledge gap that we have, to understand where it is that student is at. Sometimes it's, oh, I've already accepted something. I didn't know I had to do anything else. And so we quickly get that information and we're done. Other times it's, I'm just trying to get to graduation and I'm just focused on what I need to do with my classes. And I don't feel like I can add anything in. There was one time where the student had never even met their career advisor. And I said, could I just introduce you? Do you have 5 minutes where we could walk over to the career services office suite and I introduce you to Pam, your advisor? And the student said, sure. We walked over there, introduced them to Pam, and 2 weeks later, that student was actually placed. That's all it took, was to just get engaged. The big things that we say that lead to successful placement out of Rose-Hulman are doing well in your classes, being involved in some things outside of class, and having the experience type of opportunities through internship, co-op, research, those summer experiences that build a resume. You do those three things, that's the big stuff. We want to help you understand the little things that you can do. How can you set up a saved search in Career Shift to be able to see all of the new jobs for an internship in your given geography that you're focused on that have dropped in the last week? And now, oh, wow, okay, there's 3 new ones. I can apply to those really quick here on Sunday afternoon as I've opened up that saved search again. And now you're only spending 20, 30 minutes a week getting some new applications out every 7 days, to where it's not a big ask that we're putting on you every single day. It's just a little bit every single week. And so to be able to learn those tools, to be able to learn the services and the things that we provide, that's our entire focus. My favorite conversation to have with students is when they want to see if there's possible movement on salary in the offer that they've received. We have an entire process that we teach to be able to respectfully, but also properly ask that question. Is there any possible movement on salary? I taught my son that when he was graduating, and he got a 5% bump on what the company was offering him. So to be able to, again, have every conversation, not just say, here's how your resume needs to look, and here's how you need to act at career fair, and that's the only interaction we have you. No, it's etiquette dinners, it's offer review, it's going over benefits packages, and all the things that are associated with you being in the right place, either between school years of Rose-Hulman or at the end of the 4 years. So I've talked a lot. Are there any questions out there, Regina?
We do have questions.
All right, let's go with them.
So yeah, we have a few actually. Okay. So first question from Drew: what % of students are able to find summer internships after their first year?
It's a great question. We actually, like I said, individual attention and support. We go through every senior's resume each year to see who had an internship after the first year, and that's how we're able to assess what the breakdown is. And so it's 40% of our current seniors had an internship after the first year. So that's now post-COVID, thankfully. So kind of we're getting back into that normal range. There was a dip after COVID where we were in the 20s and 30s, but we're getting to the place now where we're in that 40% plus. Our goal is to get it over 50%. So the more first-year students that engage with us, of course, the more that number moves up.
Mm-hmm. Next question is from Elliot. Are there classes for practicing communication, interview training, and large public speaking?
It's a great question. Certainly that's incorporated into your coursework. So you're going to have rhetoric and composition. You're going to have different presentations that are going to be required as part of your courses. Thankfully, Rose-Hulman is a project-based education. It's not just test-based. And those projects are going to include being able to stand in front of your peers to begin with and be able to present on the work that you did. Of course, it kind of culminates with your capstone design project your senior year, where now you're presenting maybe to a company leadership board or to a county council or some other civic leadership entity to where it's incorporated into your coursework. But then we have in our student manual breakdown of best etiquette for email correspondence, phone correspondence, that, I mentioned the elevator pitch and different things along those lines, to where you're able to have an understanding of how best to go about communicating in the recruitment process. But we will work with students in any communication need that they have. Sometimes it's, how do I reach out to a set of alumni in a given area? That's one of the things I was talking to that alumnus about just a few minutes ago. Here's how you can find alumni from Rose-Hulman in Indianapolis, and here's how you can, craft a message to be able to ask them for their assistance in learning about opportunities that might be out there.
Next one is from Andrew. What do internship opportunities look like for ROTC students, ROTC students?
ROTC. So certainly with ROTC, you have your mandated field experience, whether it's Army or Air Force that you're engaged with here on our campus. And of course, we're excited to support you with that. That tends to be after the second year. And then you have an optional opportunity that could be after the third year, depending on which branch you're in. And so we'll see students likely pursue something after the first year, not after the second year, then potentially after the third year. Because of that, they kind of don't step foot in our office maybe during that second year as much as they should. Of course, would encourage students to still come into our office, even with the knowledge that they don't really need anything within the next 12 months. But being able to still be at the career fair, be creating connections, and putting that story out there that after my junior year, I'm going to be looking for something as a electrical engineer. By all means, you're still going to want to engage. But your first placement, and we value it as a placement, will be as a second lieutenant in either the Army or Air Force.
Okay. Elliot has another one for us. Is the GPA important for getting a job?
So most companies will work, and this is a good question, most companies will work from a 3.0 GPA being kind of a baseline. Sometimes we come across companies that maybe haven't recruited Rose-Hulman for very long, and they have a higher threshold, whether it's a 3.2, sometimes I've seen a 3.5 a couple times. And we have a very quick conversation with them. Now, first of all, the average GPA at Rose-Hulman is a 3.22, 3.23, somewhere in there. And so, 3.0 is not generally a problem, but we still have a conversation with companies saying, you're going to find a 2.9, a 2.8 student here that maybe is really involved in things, maybe has extracurriculars that are aligned with the types of things that you're looking for. If this is an automation company and they've been on the robotics team, of course, that's a student that's been able to show passion in the area of expertise that the company is looking for. And so the GPA can factor in, and sometimes it's hard and fast, and there's no way around it. But that's not the norm. They tend to come to Rose-Hulman and want to have meaningful conversations if they're here. We still encourage students to put their GPA on their resume regardless of what it is. If it's not there, you essentially allow the company to decide how low it is. And so we still tell students, put it on there, and then be ready to talk about it and how you can still bring value to them as a potential employee.
Okay, I'm going to lump a couple questions together. So a couple questions from a couple students are about internships and co-ops. And so first off, are they required for graduation?
Okay.
And then where are we having them? Because someone asked, are they outside of Indiana or are they all local to Rose-Hulman?
Okay, good questions. So first of all, there's only one major that has a required co-op experience or internship experience. That major is engineering design. Those co-op experiences take place the summer and fall of the junior year. You come back for the winter quarter, and then the spring and the following summer, you're on another 6-month co-op. So 12 out of 15 months, you're out on co-op. That's the only required one. For everyone else, it's optional, but highly encouraged. Again, it's one of those 3 big things that you need to do to really have a good placement, be placed by graduation your senior year. As far as locations, they're all over. The biggest challenge that some students run into is the race for housing. I saw it with my own kids, right? My son's first internship outside of this area. His first internship was with Rose-Hulman Ventures. His next one was out of state. And I told him it's now a race for housing. And a lot of companies will provide housing assistance. Bare minimum, they're giving you a list of options in the area and saying good luck. But most of them are giving a stipend of some sort to be able to help assist with the cost that's going to be associated with it. In addition to those list of maybe short-term lease opportunities that are furnished and everything else. We recommend to our employers that a $35 daily stipend, which is a little over $1,000 a month, is what they're offering. We're starting to see more and more companies get into that $1,500 range.
And on the same line, how impactful are co-ops versus internships when it comes to that final job placement?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend on the company. Some companies, all they do is co-op. GE appliances, refrigerators, microwaves, and everything else, all they do is co-op. And so if you want to be able to work for them eventually, that's going to be the entry point in. They want someone that's going to be there for probably 2 6-month sessions. So you're looking at a summer and fall or a spring and summer, likely. And this now means that you have to go through a process that we house in our office that makes sure that everyone's aware of the time you're going to be away and what that means for your coursework, being able to continue to the shortest term possible of being able to graduate. So for some companies, it's going to be essential to co-op. For others, it's not. And sometimes these opportunities come quickly. I had Boeing reach out to me 2 weeks before classes was going to start a couple years ago, saying we want 6 electrical engineering students from Rose-Hulman to co-op for the entire calendar year, starting in a couple weeks. And so I had to go out to our seniors in electrical, and they wanted to be students that were going into their senior year. So they've had as much coursework as possible. So I had to go out to our seniors saying, sometimes opportunities come at you fast. This is one of the sometimes. Here's an opportunity that would be an entry point into Boeing if that's what you're looking for. And there were 6 students that changed from attending Rose-Hulman their senior year and graduating and walking with their class because they wanted to have that opportunity to potentially work for Boeing. And so it's going to depend, but we try to be as open and have communication going out as often as we can. I think students have learned that if they get an email from me, they should open it and take a look because I can send it out by major, by class, so I can really get specific with the students that a company is wanting to connect with.
Okay. Probably have time for one more question.
Okay.
I have 2 good ones. Okay.
I can be quick. Give me 2.
Does the Career Services have any connections to any 3D home printing companies? Can you talk about your connections with companies? You kind of mentioned it earlier, but 3D home printing companies.
3D home, that's a new one to me. I think I understand what that's kind of the prefab where there's multiple module sections that they then can deliver to a single space and put it all together. I'd have to look into it. We have a lot of construction companies that are associated with us, and our students, of course, are going to be on the cutting, innovative edge of things. But nothing comes to mind right now. But again, that could be the next little fun challenge I have, like with the golf story I was talking about.
Jobs on campus. Do y'all handle that?
Jobs for on campus can be posted on Handshake, but it really works through our human resources office and with each individual office. And so the opportunity to have an on-campus job would not come through us.
Excellent. Okay. Woo-hoo! Very fast. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Now, everyone, I did post the Career Services email. So if we did not get to your question or you have another one for Jared, no worries. You can send it via email, correct? Do you mind?
Yeah, sure.
So we will connect with you via email. I can post it again in the chat in case you missed it.
And you can put mine in there.
Okay.
So mine is my last name, GOULDING at rosehulman.edu.
Excellent. I will put that in there.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, good to be here, Regina.
Nice. Okay.
Good to be with everybody. Sorry I can't see you. But yeah, if you have other questions, don't hesitate to shoot me off an email.